So I'm coming from Bigo, and I've already shown the people there. So if you're coming from Bigo and you're here right now, you probably have stairs. Anyway, it doesn't hurt seeing it again. Yesterday, I thought of a great way to finish up a project that I started last year. This project was a A3 A3 half jersey project, and I finished two half jerseys. The first one is green and the next one is blue. And now I am working on the last one. Yesterday I thought of a great way to use the wool that I had to just make a jersey, um, finish this jersey, but I'm using another pattern. So this pattern looks like this. If you remember, I made this stitch. I made this stitch, and this was supposed to be the cuff, and then it has the bottom also. So this is the stitch that I'm using right now to make these pockets. So in this new pattern, I have pockets instead of cuffs. I have a sleeve, a ruffle sleeve, and it's kind of short sleeve, and it's not like a long sleeve jersey. And I also have increased the length of my neck so that it like looks a little bit more formal. So those are their improvements. Also, I've done this deliberately to make it a little bit more sassy. And I also just to try and match this part of the pattern. I don't have a pattern in my shop, but I'm planning on making patterns for my shop in the future. In the meantime, I'm just showing you what I've worked on. This is what I've worked on. This is the bottom. And I just have one sleeve that I am doing now. The last time I spoke, we spoke about the bubonic plague inspired blanket. So May is almost over, and this May project is something that I want to complete by the end of May. So I ran out of wool, and I'm gonna be restocking on the last week of May. I want to show you the first block. So this is the first block of the bubonic plague inspired blanket, and the second block is this one. It is unfinished, and I can't really see the form yet. Maybe once I am done with the ears, I'll be able to see the blanket properly. I was talking a little bit more on a sleep of death when I was here, but I want to talk about the campaign first and see what am I gonna add on. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit more on the sleep of death. I haven't looked at other things that have to do with the sleep of death, so if I can talk a little bit more about what I am interested in when it comes to a sleep of death. So I have documents after documents. I am applying to go somewhere, and I'm not gonna tell you guys where yet and what I've applied for until I'm going. Um, in the meantime, I want to tell you my interest in a sleep of death. So, in the last time, I spoke a little bit more on the sleep of death. And hello, Felicia, how are you doing? And I was talking on the perspective of sleep and death, when the Bible talks about them. So I have an interest in the bridge and the crossing place, and we are crossing, and then the River Jordan, and rest and water and corruption. But water, not necessarily in the sense of the bubonic plague, but water is water, of course. It does apply here also. So these are my interests when it comes to a sleep of death, and these are the topics that I'm going to be looking into at a more in-depth prophetic level. Hi, Isaias. How are you guys? Now I am working on my sleeve. So I'm gonna make, in fact, this this ruffle. I was looking at it during my broadcast on Bigo, and something bothers me with it. So this is at the back. I want to show you if you can see. So this is at the back. At the back, I'm starting to see that even though I put these ruffles together and they worked, there is this that I still see, and this looks very messy. So I'm thinking twice about undoing the crochet. The crochet itself is all day. I crocheted the sleeve in, but the part that where I have put the ruffles together is showing here, and I don't like that. I'm gonna be wearing this half jersey, short sleeve half jersey, when I am going to the place that I'm not gonna tell you guys about yet. Now, if you can see the pattern, this is a new pattern. The half jerseys that I made have long sleeves and they don't have pockets. So this is a new pattern that I just wore out yesterday. I don't want to take down that sleeve. Thank you, Hill. I don't want to take down that sleeve. So I'm just gonna leave it like that and be bugged every time someone's like, "What's this?" It looks like it's not. It's going undone. It looks like it's going undone. Actually, is it? Oops. I should spend some time later though, to undo it and then like redo it, recrochet it, so that that part actually is inside and not outside. On my broadcast on Bigo, I spoke about water and the importance of water in the body. You can learn how to crochet Hill. If I can tell you my journey, my crochet journey, you'll be so surprised. I saw a video on TikTok and someone was just crocheting. You know how crochet artists just post tutorials. So someone was just posting, they posted a tutorial on how to crochet a specific stitch. And I was like, oh, it just clicked. And something in me just like desired to start. And I didn't waste any time. I just saved up because I get money from my grant. And I just used that money to buy myself wool and start. and dolls also and stuff. So yeah, so far it has been good. You can check some of my products at Queen of Almond for America or Kof Kof for Senelika. Um, I'm sure you guys have seen my bubonic plague inspired blanket. I have a whole lot of other work that I have done under Hamona, and I have a shop where I sell my items, where you guys can go and get my items from. My phone pouch is old, but um, I'm selling phone pouches. Currently, I have them in stock, so I think um, I'm very confident about them being available. I have about 4 phone pouches available right now. They go on for about like $13 if you're interested. You can get them on my shop at Hamona on Kofi. So here in South Africa, they actually are 200 rand. I was just thinking, it's like 12 minutes in on my sleep of death and the campaign itself. I want to start with the campaign. And I know I'm gonna keep repeating this over and over again, but it's okay. I mean, it is a campaign running for an entire year. I am campaigning on the bubonic plague to raise awareness on the bubonic plague and promote good health. So there are people who might not know the bubonic plague. The bubonic plague is a plague that um, caused a pandemic um, during the times of, well, I can't remember the years. I think it was 1950s, um, late 1940s, 1950s, and um, it is caused by a bacterium. This bacterium infected rats, and then it was transmitted to human beings by mosquitoes. So my interest has been to look into solutions that can help to prevent or to treat the bubonic plague. Um, and these solutions, from my perspective, um, not not necessarily disregarding what the government of countries have done to decrease that level, to remove the pandemic and put it at a level where it's not necessarily that dangerous. Um, there are antibiotics that are available that people eat to treat the bubonic to treat the bubonic plague. Yeah. But I was looking at solutions also to prevent and treat, also to help in that. And some of the solutions is a clean environment, clean water, clean air, hygiene. When I was looking into them, I then started to think further on the solutions and realized, my goodness, doesn't this tie so well with the SDGs that the um, the United Nations is promoting? And it definitely does. I was thinking, and this is definitely what I'm going to be doing throughout my campaign. I was thinking of going into the SDGs and looking into them. Our rights to a clean environment, our rights to um, clean water, clean hygiene. Um, so I've been looking at a few things. I don't know how far I've gone into talking about these solutions, but today I spoke about clean water, and I was looking at clean water from what water can cause if it is not clean, and that is diseases such as cholera. So then comes the encouragement to us as people to clean out our water. When we are saving up water, and for people living in rural areas, um, it is very important for us to filter and to clean our water, to boil it, especially when it's coming from a JoJo tank. So, water coming from the JoJo tank hasn't been cleaned by the municipality so that it is indeed safe to drink. So, um, although it is a very good option to save water, but not only that, but also get water. It is important to clean out the water by boiling and filtering it so that it is safe to drink. Water is important for us to drink in our bodies because if, for example, you have stiff bones, water can loosen out the bones a little bit. So it is good for the bones. It is good to clean out our bodies. Um, when you pair it with nutrition, you can eat good, nutritious food. And when you drink water, the toxins coming from the nutritious, water soluble food just goes out with the water. And all you're left with is just the nutritious, the nutrients coming from the food. So, water is very helpful cleaning out the bowels and the colon. It is helpful for digestion. I didn't speak about digestion in Ombigo, but it is very good for digestion. Looking into digestion paired with proper nutrition and exercise. Um, Digestion works very, very well when the body exercises as well, and gets, like, for example, all of these other elements, so air and sunlight. For example, I make an example into how digestion plays a part with these other elements in health. If you're eating calcium, calcium can get absorbed and well digested by the body when it is um, when it is paired with vitamin D. So when you get proper sunlight. Um, so if you don't get proper sunlight, um, calcium can find it harder, I'm assuming, to get absorbed by the body. But anyway, water helps it helps a lot with the body. But I think in this sense, it is more on also the community perspective. How does water work and the community level? And water is very helpful. We use it to cook, we bath. So when I talk about the other solution, which is hygiene, water works very well, and it is used to mop homes, to bath, to clean, to, I guess, mopping is cleaning. It is also useful in building houses. I could mention so many things that water does. I could mention so many things, but the body is made up of about 90%. I'm not sure if it is 90%. Um, Taking into consideration that the body itself has its own fluid. Um, so it could be the blood is made up of 90% of water, maybe. Um, the body has its own fluids other than just water. So, but those fluids themselves also, um, I mean, I don't know if they're water dependent, but something like that. It is a solution than water because of the health that it promotes and um, the health that it gives the body. In the bubonic plague, I think um, it is it is helpful in that just to clean out the body. Um, as I say that the bubonic plague will then long term when it is in the Black Death, it causes sores in the body. So you can assume that the body needs some type of cleanliness so that if even it is treated, it can just heal and much more quicker. Yeah. So that's what I am talking about today mainly, my campaign. I don't know if I've shown you guys how far I've gone with my campaign. Maybe I started with that in the beginning of my life. I don't know, but I'm going to show you. I just want to do this sleep. I know when I talk in my life, I only just get like two, two lines done. The last time I did 2 lines on my bubonic block, and then I sat up the entire afternoon the following day trying to cover, and I got that far. I did this much, um, sitting in my afternoon and using that time to do a lot of work just because I know that by the end of the month, I need to be done with these 2 blocks because next month I can't be doing these 2 blocks, guys. I need to start out with the artwork and the blocks for that month. So in between my schedule also I find, and I think what I've applied for also has, it demands time. I need to like the little time I get, I need to use. So I won't be going live for every single line. Um, and I'll keep up with the work, and on my live I'll show you how far I've gone so that we can be on time, guys. We can be on time. Okay, so I am doing 80. No, I'm just saying. I know you guys are not crocheting with me. I'm just telling you. You might be wondering why it's so long. It's actually 80 centimeters. Oh, I made it far too long. Hello everyone who's just come out, just trying to measure to 80 centimeters, and really I made it too long. So now I'm just like taking it down, and I'm almost there it seems. I'm almost there now on my 80. Just, yay! Okay, I got my 80. I keep looking at my videos, Pucci Eats. So Bigo Live, I am Pucci Eats. If you guys want to follow, you can follow me. Bigo Live, I am Pucci Eats. Pucci Eats is based off of me and my interest in loving food so much. I want to munch, munch, munch. So I've put it in. Um, if you're interested to see the work I've done in eating, you can look at my account Pucci Eats here on YouTube. On Bigo, I just like do whatever that I'm doing in the other accounts. So I spoke there, I came here now, and I'm repeating the same thing that I said there with my campaign and so on. I am so in love. No, I'm not even joking. So I'm in this journey. I am studying German, and I'm so in love. I'm looking into like it is Scandinavian movies. Let me tell you guys. No, I'm a cartoon person. What are these movies? Wow. I'm like such evil and wickedness. It is fitful this time. I watched them. I watched one movie, It Is Dead Snow. And I was like, oh my goodness, the zombies. The zombies is so exciting. I mean, it is a thrill, of course, for my human nature to see what they're doing and so much action. That movie is very scary, I must admit. Um, I can't wait till I start cosplay, guys. Every time when I look into like the work and everything, I just think of that. I also play Lord's Mobile, so I'm a little bit of a gamer in my spare time. So for anyone who plays Lord's Mobile, maybe we see each other around. I'm studying Danish and German on Duolingo, and The other day, I put my Danish school on my LinkedIn. I don't know what it's gonna do, but I just put it in. Maybe it's gonna draw other people who study Danish to me, just for like interest sake. I don't know, but yeah, I did put my progress there. Apparently, when I go up on my score, then it like automatically goes up on LinkedIn too. So people see my progress. Yeah, so that's what I've been getting up to. I also have run out of day data. So during the day, I listen to the radio. I have a radio station I really love. One of the reasons why I love listening to that radio station, even though I can't understand what they're saying, is that their work is aligned with what I believe. So, and my interests, of course. Um, they promote classical music and so on. And they're a little bit of everything, I guess, that has to do with my work. So I find it like very comfortable just to listen to that channel, and that's what I listen to every day. And I don't feel like I'm so lonely anymore just by not being online. So yeah, another thing I want to share with you is that my data bundles overall is going to expire by the 23rd of this month. So after the 23rd of this month, um, I'm not going to be going live, and um, we'll see you when I buy data bundles, which is after I've restocked. On the day I'm going to restock wool, I'm also going to get data bundles when I get my grant. So yeah, there's a few things that I want to update you on, guys, so that you know what's going on with my life. You're more than welcome to help me reach my goals on Kofi um, by I guess donating or supporting the business. It goes towards me buying wool for projects that I make, and yeah, so I appreciate that. You can also read my blog there, and yeah, I have been looking into a few stuff that have to do with this business, Melamazy. Of course, it is a music business. If you love music, you can check my account. I have a couple of songs I sing there. I also play the guitar and I play the recorder. I am working on improving my skills, and I have a few projects on the on the horizon. The first thing I want to talk about when it comes to the project is the concerts. I will be hosting concerts, though not this year, because I want to work on saving up and buying equipment for monthly markets. I want to sell at the markets, and so it's something that I am planning long term. So concerts would be something I start in 2028. Yeah, just because the idea behind this is, for me, this year I'm just growing my hours. So I have a few goals I have for business. I don't want to tell you everything. I have a few goals I have for my business. I want to grow this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do that. So This year I'm just going live. I want to increase my lives and have more lives. So yeah, that's my focus this year. And then next year I'm going to focus on um maybe just focus on the live stuff and um yeah. So yeah, lives is something that is here to stay. I'm focusing on the lives more and getting equipment. I'll be sharing with you every time I get equipment. I have a huge, long list of equipment and stuff I want to do. I'm going to be crocheting my banner, Melamisi. I'm going to crochet my tablecloth. I'm going to crochet my mash card. I haven't designed my mash card yet, but I'm gonna crochet my huge big mascot that's gonna sit like right on like in front of my table and right next to my stove. And I'm thinking of sewing in my banner in my because I'm gonna get a gazebo. So I'm thinking of getting a small gazebo and then crocheting my banner, and my band's going to be big, it's going to be big. So I don't know how long that's going to take me. So I think just before I go on my markets, that's what I'm going to do. Also, guys, I'm going to be on Etsy. I'm going to let you know and update you on that. So my lives and Etsy is something that is going to come up just very quickly and soon. And I'm gonna be selling just Milamese merch and just merch items. So yeah, that is something that's gonna happen very quickly and soon. But otherwise, I'm gonna make I have a long list of things I wanna do before I go to the flea market. And yeah, I want to have like a gazebo tent mat and then put like a fluffy mat, on top of the mat so that it's more comfortable. Because that mat is not necessarily a mat, it's like a covering. It's like a ground covering so that you just sit on like a clean place. So I want to put that mat and put like a fluffy mat on top of that gazebo tent mat. And then I'm gonna get like a table and crochet a tablecloth, which might take me very long time. But yeah, until the day I have the table, the gazebo tent mat, the fluffy mat, and I've crocheted my big mascot. I have my chalkboard on the side where I'm gonna write whatever I'm selling for people to see. And like I've crocheted my banner. I'm literally gonna tapestry Melamese on my banner, and I was thinking of like flowers on the sides. Also, I don't know, I have a huge design just on my head on how I'm gonna do it. Um, and I wanna sew that in on my gazebo. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that without my gazebo flaking. I don't know if you've seen when you try to sew a tent in, it flakes because a tent usually has like material, like I don't know, it's like plastic. It's almost like a sail. It's a sail, but then it has like this hard stuff under. And that hard stuff is like, if you sew it in or you try to like fold it like this, you try to fold it either breaks or it flakes. So I don't want that. if there's like a section on the sale where I can sew it in, probably on on the sides maybe. Then that's where I'm gonna sew in my banner and yeah. Then I have my crochet items, of course. If I crocheted all of my items, I have all of my items, and I have my mash card and my tablecloth, and I have my banner. I don't know what else I said I'm gonna crochet. I also saw a rack, guys. Okay, so let me talk a little bit more around this rack. So I don't know if I shared this, but I'm adding plushies into my projects that I'm going to be selling on flea markets also. And the plushies I'm going to be selling on my flea markets are going to be plushies that are small, but also um, maybe I'm also going to discount my products on flea markets because I think if someone can take the time to like watch me on YouTube and then go to the flea market when they're around the area to actually go and support my small business, my goodness, like that is so appreciated. So I'm gonna discount my items on my flea market. Items on flea markets will be going from 20 rand to 150 rand, and that's like $1. It's $1.50. Um, yeah, it's like $1.30. It's $1.30 to $10. Um, items are $10 and below, so 20 rand to 150. There are gonna be key rings. There are gonna be so many things, guys. I'm gonna let you know when I go to the flea market, but I have so many things that I'm so excited to sell at the flea market. I'm gonna have these things on my Etsy, but on my Etsy, they're gonna be on the normal price unless I am on sale during that period. But they're gonna be on the normal price on my Etsy. So that is that, guys. As I let you know on my business updates. There's a lot I'm going to be working on. The items themselves, they take time, but I will take that time to make them. My lives go for an hour. In the last live, I spoke about a sleep of death. So, a sleep of death ties in many studies that I have. We can talk about the destruction of Jerusalem. We can talk about toilets. Talk about we can talk about many things. Um, there are studies I haven't shared yet, and a sleep of death talks about them too. So a sleep of death talks about many things, insects. Um, it talks about studies I started in 2024 and didn't actually share and didn't complete and um, continue to grow them so that they are established, especially with these concepts, because there are new concepts that are coming up, like hormona. Hormona is a new concept. It also now is my business. It is the name of my shop on Ko-fi, but it's a new concept coming from Ezekiel 29, um, which is quite literally, as Ezekiel says, it is the city of cleansing. So these are new concepts, but it's all in a sleep of death. So I could make a long series um, and just call that series a sleep of death, because literally when I speak about a sleep of death, I could talk about all of these little bits and pieces. The insects, the 28810. There's a study that is 288810, which I think is, I don't know if you guys know Nelson Mandela's um, number when he came out. It's almost like a criminal number, you know. Um, so so it almost feels like 28810 is like my criminal number. Though I don't take myself as a criminal, but yeah, 28810 is the number that God can use or is probably using to identify me and the work that I am doing, which under under the Bible and under heaven is wickedness, and it is a crime. It is criminal. So my number, as God can identify me as, is 288810, or 2 and 10, as I say it to shorten it out. And this number has to do with a lot of things, but I think the main activity is the cleaning up of the body with the use of demons, um, under the study called toilets. So that is what it is. Hello, everyone who's just come in. Welcome to my live. So, a sleep of death is just my way of just saying that God is keeping me intact, and He is watching my movements in the work that He's called me to do in this time, so that I am, not call it protection, but I am kept in check, because it's dealing with people, people's health, people's lives, people's money, people's um, livelihoods. So he keeps me in check with 288810 as my criminal number. So that's what 2 and 10 is about. It's actually my identification when it comes to me being a criminal in heaven. But I think over time, when my intentions have been proven. So my intentions are supposed to be proven for a specific time. They could have been proven during my binding off period, which then, with my studies of toilets and so on, my intentions have been under check. They will constantly be questioned by God, but He won't question them so often, as my years go by, as He also leads in the work. and then he sees how I interpret what he's given me, and then how I carry out the work in what he's given me. He will constantly question my intentions, as he sees the results with what is going on with his children, Adventism, and Just Movement, who bear a specific message for a time, and then ultimately the children who are they are new converts coming from the world, and what then also happens in the world from the children when it comes to the cleansing process. So yeah, I kept in check, and people wonder how can I do such a work as toilets. Um, and God keeps me in check so that everything is just as He pleases. I have 9 minutes left before the end of my live. Excuse me. There are many studies that I keep thinking of going over, and I will go over them. I've also been thinking of going back to my previous studies just to balance myself out. If I speak about my studies in from 2021, from the Taliban insurgency to present, um, I don't find it desirable. So I want to also add the studies that are that I had from 2016, 2015 to now. I know that is going to hit on Paminda because Paminda has for a long time holding on to by beholding we become changed. When I keep sharing over and over and over again how I had a friend in Botswana, and my friend, um, he he was my brother also in the movement, and I had a study called By Beholding We Become Changed. Um, right after I wrote the study, I wanted to verify with a couple of brethren to just establish that study and have a people kind of um, people backing me up in that study, in its validity and how sacred and how holy and how righteous it is, how God's leading in it. So I went to a brother. Um, that brother is a brother in Botswana. So I asked him to read over my study, and he read, and he found it very, very helpful, interesting, and he thought it was a very good study. So he took it, and as Paminda was his spiritual father, he gave it to Paminda, and Paminda took that study and shared it. He shared it without referencing me. Usually in the movement, when you get a study from someone and you were checking it out, you reference them. So you will say, um, oh, I would say, like, I got a study from Africa, for example, or I got a study from Europe, or I got a study from Italy, or I got a study from America, and reference the person, even if you don't talk about them and say their names. So he didn't do that. He just took the study and um, taught it to the people. Um, I went to the Zimbabwean camp meeting. So his schedule was to teach this study because the first time he taught the study, brethren just kind of gathered up and they wanted the study. It was meat for the time. So, him being a traveling missionary, I'm not going to say he was a brother who had dedicated his life to the work. He went and taught the study in America and became very popular very quickly. People thought it was his work, and yet he was just teaching my work word for word. And then he came to Zimbabwe in the Zimbabwean camp meeting. And while he was teaching, I looked at my friend from Botswana because he was also there. And I said, wait, hang on, that is my study. And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, yeah, it is your study. I was like, how can you say that so casually? It is my study. Did you not just pray and start speaking and didn't even reference his inspiration, his work, and where the study actually comes from? That is my study, that is my work. And the brothers just kind of laughed and said, just casually, oh, that's how he works. It is his nature. He doesn't reference, he doesn't like referencing studies. So you can't you don't expect him to reference your work. Maybe he just wants to, like, maybe just be seen as his, as if it is his work and so on. And I was so hurt. I was truly hurt. Like, even just to say a study coming from Africa. He didn't. And that study gave him a real one. It was a real one. Because I'm starting to laugh, guys. I just have giggles sometimes. I'm not sure from where they're coming from. He had a real one from 2017. This happened in 2017. It is recent, guys. It's not so far away. 2017 was like 10 years ago. Next year it's gonna be 10 years ago. It's not so far. It's not so long ago. 2017, 2018, he was already running and saying that um, he is Jesus Christ, he's Elisha, and from there he's saying he's the Omega movement and his work, and that Jeff's movement is Alpha, the Alpha movement, and he's a dead prophet. And that study took him for a ride. It took him for a ride from studying the Word of God to him saying, oh no, now he's not going to be studying the Bible. anymore. Um, they are, in as a matter of fact, gonna leave the Bible because they believe in different things now. They started out taking out things, taking out things, taking out things, and then people started coming to them and saying, "But where does this come from? But where does this come from? But where does this come from in the Bible?" Because you say, "In the Bible, the Bible says," but where does this come from in the Bible? So he didn't want to be honest and say, "Oh no, I just made it up. I made it up because of this and this and this reason." And he started saying schizophrenic. He's a schizophrenic prophet, and that became popular. Like him being a schizophrenic prophet, and I don't know if he was trying to gain sympathies from the people. He did gain a lot of sympathies from the people as a schizophrenic prophet. But, you know, my study, so when I start teaching the study and sharing it with you guys, um, it will hit on him. So I feel like I'm going to be a teacher now again. So I must share though that my work is forbidden ground to Adventism and just movement. And so my work in itself is just work that I can teach and share. Um, and England is keeping watch. So does Denmark keep watch of my work? Because God, of course, is holding me up accountable for